Okie dokie. Hello, sexy souls. Welcome back to Weird and Woo Woo, where I'm weird and we get woo woo. And if you don't like weird or woo woo, I suggest you scroll on out. It won't be your cup of tea. Okie dokie. If you stay, you're doing so willingly and knowingly. All right. It's coffee and tarot time. So get your cup. You don't have to have coffee. If you don't like coffee, that's fine. Get your matcha tea, wine. I don't know. Pick and choose. Pick your brew. I don't care. Sit down, settle in. Let's check in with the energies to see if there is a message for you today. Now, as always, remember, there is no way on God's green earth that I can read for all 7 billion people. I tend to stick with a collective and then seem to be shifted. And so you'll see that a lot of my readings might be in clusters and things like that. That's because I just get moved around by spirit. And yeah, it's what it is, okay? However, whatever you do, don't try to Cinderella this shit to make it fit, okay? That's what I got to say. I am going to pull this back up because I had a song. Okie dokie. So before getting on, they brought me back to a song I have already channeled. And in fact, that was the title for one of the readings. And it's the song King, or I Am King. I think it's just King by Florence and the Machine. But they were hitting on a different, hey baby, how are you? So you are so adorable in your new pictures. You almost look like you went to modeling school. I want to smack you, but also oh, be like the proud auntie kind of thing. I'm just saying. So looking good, motherfucker, looking good. Just letting you know. Anywho's, so they were bringing me to a different line, and they kept pounding on that one. And I was like, you know how it is with me. It has to repeat several times before I realize, oh, this is what we're talking about. Because if I'm gonna repeat a song, I'm gonna be singing out loud. Sometimes it sounds like a lyric going on, and it gets louder and it comes more to the forefront, and it's pay attention. I'm like, oh, so here's the lyric, and I put it as the title. I don't know if this is how this reading is gonna go or what, but this is what we're gonna do. It is the how much is art really worth? The very thing you're best at is the thing that hurts the most. And it's almost it gives a feeling of, is it worth it? Is what I feel called to worth all this? It's that the essence of being on the edge of wanting to give up on something, but it having such a pervasive hold on you, or a pervasive attachment, or feels like it's almost a part of you, and is so difficult to let go of. And then it was I need my golden crown of sorrow, my bloody sword to swing, my empty halls to echo with grand self-mythology. It's just, yeah. So how much is art really worth? So whatever your skill, whatever your calling, whatever you feel, and it's anybody who knows where they try to pursue a passion that doesn't fit neatly into society's prescribed, predetermined avenues, paths, formats, things like that. So it's just that, if it doesn't fit into the nice, neat corporate box, and that can be that can just be being an entrepreneur, the level of sacrifice that is required to do that. And to love something so much that seemingly doesn't love you back at times, like, what is the point? Okay, so this also goes back to some of the reading, like, what's the point? Like, what does it even matter? Like, if I if I didn't show up to this, if I didn't answer the call, no one would know. It's almost the idea of if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it even fall? Does that make sense? And so it's one of those things where it's like, would my lack of follow through even be missed? That's kind of what I'm getting from this. And it's like, at what cost do I pursue this? When do I say I am now sacrificing too much of myself and my happiness or anything? Like, is there a line that you can cross where you're like, it's no longer worth it? That's just what it feels like. That's what that one line, like, how much is this worth to you? What else are you willing to, that you desire, are you willing to forgo in order to pursue this one thing? It's the idea of having the baby, having your child, and it's like, I would do absolutely anything. I would give up my freedom to ensure their safety. Like, the things I would do, I would lay my life on the line for them. I would be willing to do certain things for them that I would not for anybody else, nor for myself. Like, it's that type of thing. Like, to what extent? To what extent? And that's where I think I need my golden crown of sorrow. Like, there's something like it's like this love, this passion, this skill, this ability is your crown. Like, it is the thing that makes you feel like you're sitting on your throne, fully in your authenticity, fully in your truth, in your fullest expression. But it brings, like, it's a heavy burden to bear at times, to place it above other things. Like, what are, does that make sense? And so, even to the degree of, in pursuit of this, I live in poverty for this long, and I put all kinds of things at risk, to include my mental health, because of that poverty. And at what point is it even worth it, type of thing? That's what it feels like. So it's a golden crown of sorrow, because there's pain in the pursuit of things at times. And my bloody sort of swing is like the level you're willing to fight. Like, it is such a struggle sometimes to live into that, given either the environment we're in, the dynamics of the situation, or just the acceptance of those around us, to live into our truth. It's like, sometimes, how much am I willing to? It gives me the 7 of Wands, 9 of Wands kind of energy. How much am I willing to hold firm in my belief within myself, and to do what I believe is right and true, and to defend that, like, to defend it at all costs, despite the things external to me that would work against me? Like, how much am I willing to go? Am I willing to fight for that? So it's like you're almost ready for battle. Like, it feels like a battle. And that one little spot in that song is what kept coming through. So let's see. That could just be like a precursor, like that's the energy somebody's in, and may not pertain to what's to come with the message, but it is, I feel like it's pertinent somehow. It's pertinent somehow. Like, what are you willing to endure to pursue this, to live this? And this is in any capacity. This is sometimes we're not even talking about necessarily even a skill set here. We're talking about my favorite way of saying it now, LGBTQI, like TikTok term, LGBTQIA. It's like, what level, like, people who interracial relationships, like, this was a thing. Like, at what point, even in my life, in the place that I live, okay, I don't know, grand old United States, the idea of dating outside of my race. I have 2 biracial children. And it was, I mean, there are people that are willing to sever complete and all ties, family, to blame you for families falling apart, and like it gets bad. Like, what are you willing to endure to live your truth? Because I'm a firm believer that it's far better to live your truth than to speak it. And so it's just one of those things, like, what are you willing to endure to be able to do that? And is it worth it to you? And maybe somebody's contemplating that. But I do think that we should be really utilizing that terminology more. I can't remember the person that dubbed it, but it's like, forever and always we should be liability, because that is the coolest fucking name. You know what I mean? It's just really cool. And until they freaking add, if there's any more alphabet added to that, I'm going to be really upset. I mean, only because I really like liability. I'm just saying. That's my neurodivergent brain going, oh, that's amazing. You know what I mean? So, like, then I'm going to get really tied to that and love it. And then people are going to, like, change it. I'm like, what the? All right. I don't know why I'm trying to pull my drawer open. It was like I was going to grab something. Am I going to grab something? I don't know. Let's fee. It's one of them days. Let's just see if I can actually get through this shit. Well, it's been a hot minute. The self-healing oracle. Let's take a look at this and see what comes through. It's like, how much is art really worth? Thank you, LP, for the hearts. Ooh, sadness and healing. Yes, I can see that. What do you think? Yes, I can see all the little. Wow. This is gorgeous. What the heck? Do you know I didn't even know this one existed? I hear you say it all the time. I legit had no clue. Like, I know I went through this deck at some point. I have not ever pulled this in a reading. It's family and tribe. Look at how beautiful the depiction is. Wow. It's so funny when the cards are very to the fucking point, where it's almost like each card is a word in the sentence, and it's just like, you can have so many cards out and it's like 2 sentences could sum it up. Like, that's when I say spirits to the point, direct, not mincing words, not having to interpret, like, this means what it is. We got family and tribe, the people that you think should be having your back. We just had this whole entire conversation about what is it worth? What do you end up sacrificing and being just yourself? And we even I just said about, I gave the example of living where I live and what it's like, right? I'm gonna put this in here so it doesn't buzz too much. And the idea and notion of, like, feeling like you have to go to battle to be who you are. And then we have rejection right next to family and tribe. So this is telling me somebody who feels like they stand out. Not because that's their intention in being authentically themselves. But because it's almost like this like I even just said, like, you're ruining the family and they disown you and all kind, it's like the rejection that is experienced, the isolation, the you're made to be this martyr, this uh, uh, beacon of disappointment. You're put in this spotlight and isolated out intentionally by those around you. Not that that was what you were wanting this spotlight on you. You just wanted to be authentically yourself, or to do something that's authentic to yourself. But it puts a level of scrutiny and again, we talk about the healing process, right? And how people leave our life because they're no longer in alignment, and how they fall away. And we see people's true colors when we live our truth, right? So somebody's experienced this. Somebody's experienced, it feels like to me, a lack of a tribe for quite some time. And sometimes we can go, is it real? Like, maybe, when we're wearing a mask most of our life, sometimes it feels worth putting it back on because it's so lonely and difficult when you're having to do it on your own. When you don't have community around you. And sometimes just experiencing rejection from the people that are around us that we thought were a lot like us. It feels something different. And I feel like the fear of additional rejection. This feels like somebody in hermit mode, or somebody that has gotten used to the hyper independence or the lack of connection that is leading them to hesitate doing things that require that, where there is a reliance on anybody else. I just had this conversation last night with my friend. She gave me something similar on this. We actually had a conversation, something not, similar-ish, and maybe if she'll be okay with me talking about this, is that, being like pulling somebody in that's not necessarily blood and treating them as family, connecting with them on a soul level, like a brother-sister type of friendship, and allowing yourself to go there to be vulnerable, only for them to then reject you, can make you feel as though you need to then keep everybody else at a distance, right? And can cause you to pump the brakes on any type of reliance on anybody else, like trusting anyone else with your authentic self. Asking for help, working together, partnering, allowing anybody else in, and how that can actually impede progress on your path. And how that's really just self-sabotage. And pride. Pride can prevent us from attempting to go there again. It's the idea of, if I really want to be a success in this life, if I really want to be a success as who I am, then I have to get used to not relying on other people, that people will leave. And because I don't want people that I value to leave, not letting them in, not getting close to them, and not accepting help from them. Because, as she put it last night, I'm protecting what I have with them. It's past experiences of you stepping into your gifts, you stepping into who you really are, owning that truth, and sharing that with others. when that gets then turned around on you or used against you, or it feels like something fails as a result of that. And then you pumping the brakes on anything that requires, anything that resembles that. And then for fear, like just out of, and it is a bit of pride. Pride and fear intertwined. Hold on. Son of a biscuit eater. Good. I'm okay. I might have sneezed out some brains. We'll see. For self-preservation's sake, wanting to preserve your authenticity, when in actuality, it puts you in a state of hiding it in an attempt to preserve. I don't need anything. I don't need anyone. I don't need the connection. I don't need community. And the level of stories we tell ourselves when we're forced to accept that. And really, we end up just self-sabotaging it's self-sabotage and our path. Because we end up not really living authentically as ourselves then. Because we're consistently and constantly on guard versus transparent, authentic, vulnerable. And for some reason that right there is this pride gets in the way of spirit bringing in the help that you've asked for. It almost impedes the ability for spirit to give you that help because you're not open to it. Because a lot of times spirit will show up through other people. By moving others. By acting through others. Okay. The thing you're the best at is the thing that hurts the most. It's accepting the path as it is and how it has had to unfold in order for you to own this aspect of yourself. That when your light shines, inevitably other people will fall away. They will make you a target. They will respond in ways that you didn't think were possible, or that they ever would. You may go through a lonely phase. You may experience rejection. Is it worth coming out of isolation, out of hiding, out of hermit mode? What does it mean if I do so, stepping into the world as me, only to be ostracized again, rejected, left alone, hurt? And it's that worry and concern that has you consistently pumping the brakes, slowing things down. And that transfers when something's been let in, because let's just be honest with you. You open yourself, you're being exceptionally vulnerable when, even if it's not directed to a particular person, just to the world, you are completely who you are, following your passions, showing and expressing your gifts. There will inevitably be somebody that gets irritated by that. And will try to find the thing, the aspect, the point, like will target exactly who you are to get you to stop shining, to stop feeling proud of yourself, to stop feeling powerful in your own skin. Like if your light shines that bright and they don't know how to do that, they're going to want to dim your light. And it comes in so many forms and fashions. And so when you experience something on a very deep personal level, very close, like inner circle, it can prevent you from wanting to do it with the world. Because if I can't even trust the people that are closest to be okay with who I am, which you knew damn good and well as soon as you stepped out and stopped wearing a mask, that you would then automatically see who was really for you and who wasn't. But it makes it almost so that then you don't want to share everything with the world as well. Because there's somebody that close that I really trusted. And I know that we all say, even I say, that's why sometimes it's like, it's easier to do the general reads because it's easier to disengage from that. But when I get into a personal read, I am really in someone's energy, and to pull back out of that energy, it's more taxing. But when something cuts that deep, even a bunch, like to experience a bunch of shallow scrapes and scratches from the world at large, you just, like, is it worth sharing it with everybody else? What good would it do? There's that phrase again. What good would it do? And if I don't, is anybody really going to care? Like, to what extent does it matter to be me? To what extent does it really matter to have those connections again? What's the trade-off? Is it worth it? Is it worth going that direction again? Is it, to be seen by everybody, to listen to the greater society at large replicate and say the same things that those that I thought were close to me to say? The shaming, the guilting, the judgment, the assumptions. So if you've had something very, very intimate in your healing process happen, and in your evolutionary process, something very intimate with people that you thought were family in your tribe, and that then gets transferred to, you're just like, is it worth it with the world at large? Do they deserve? Does anybody deserve to see me authentically as myself? The goodness of who I am. But that holding back actually only puts like this cloak over you. You inevitably are putting yourself back in the box. And I just get this overwhelming feeling that I am going to put myself in a position where I do it all on my own. And that's pride. Because, see, nobody can hurt me then. If I did it all on my own, nobody can take credit for it. Nobody can kind of like, hold leverage over me. Nobody can kind of say, well, you wouldn't have this if it wasn't for me. Or, you couldn't, like, you're not really all that great. Like, it's just like, can't nobody say nothing then. And then sometimes we form this pride because of the hurt and pain that we experience. Pride acts as our shield, right? Like the Nine of Wands, that wall that we have up. And all it ends up doing is hampering the help that is meant to come in. The Spirit just said the majority of the help that Spirit will ever send you will come through people. We always fantasize about these magical moments where, I win the lottery and nobody else is attached to it. But those are so exceptionally few and far between. No matter the level of introvert or type of personality you are, we no matter what, we do not operate in a vacuum. Because with a lottery win would come having to manage that money, having to understand the laws about it, taxation, all kinds of things, and the need to have a tribe that you can trust around you to help you with that. To think that you are meant to experience and carry the burden of this existence all on your own. And sometimes the relentless pursuit of your fullest expression can also create the bubble of isolation around you. This I gotta do it. It's mine. And if I'm not the sole reason I achieve it, then I can't really call it my own. But we only do this. Like, the point of fully expressing ourselves is to be a light that lights somebody else. Okay, let's find. They almost wanted to go there. Where were you going now? I think we need to talk about the help. I mean, yeah, nothing else is talking to me. I think this is the resurgence of people finding their soul tribe, their soul family. You are safe from harm. If there is an ounce of pride within you that is stopping you from having that level of vulnerability and connection with people and allowing people to support you, or to willingness to accept the help that spirit sends you through other people, they want you to know you're safe. You're rejecting it. Your pride is rejecting it for fear of harm. You will receive news from afar. Hi, Beatrice. No, let's take a look, because it went back in. Well, two of the cards, I'm going to put these back because they kind of flip back, but two of the cards say a long journey brings rewards and your perseverance is rewarded. So, but we want them to come out all the way. My candle's going out. Let me make sure this is. Oh, I swear, y'all. Give me a hot second. Give me a hot second. Follow your intuition. Sly and subtle approach is needed. Help from above has everything to do with, don't worry, everything's going to be just fine, okay? You're actually shielded from any harm. You will receive some news that you need to follow your intuition on. A subtle approach. Ooh. When did that happen? Did y'all see that? Love and prosperity. we're going to put this bad boy over here. Because that was like slide and subtle approach. Now are we going to? Thank you. We are. I was like, is something going to tell me? I'm going through my other candles because I haven't gone and bought my white candles yet. I usually have like, see, look at this. Look at this, guys. I don't know why I want to show you all, but okay. I mean, it is. That's my candle holder. And if you all know, like, that's not real selenite. Like, everybody always calls it selenite. This is a cousin to selenite. Selenite is those flat sheets, but like, we'll call it selenite for right now. You can't wash it. Like, I don't know if y'all know this. Actually, it turns toxic and things like that. But like, it also just doesn't work. I'm just gonna tell you that much. You'll dissolve the damn thing. So that's why it's so black and everything. I probably should get a new one. All right, let's take a look at this. Let me slide and subtle approach. Slide and subtle approach. I mean, there is 5 of Pentacles with the Death card. That's like the end of being alone, isolated, without, in lack. There's an end to that. Okay. We're going to come full circle. It's going to make sense. It's going to make sense. Oh, the thing that you've been wanting and desiring. There's a particular... This could be, it's either an offer, it's an opportunity. We'll call it an opportunity, an offer. I just heard the word option. Like, take a look at this. We have the 9 of Cups, which is your wish, your desire. This is what you've been like at the heart of you. Like, you feel it in your veins. It pumps through you. This, I really want this. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles. While it may have taken a minute to get here, it shows the fuck up. I'll tell you that much. And it's solid. It's real. It has potentiality. Like, this is a good option, a good opportunity. And we have the Star card that you've been guided to. And it feels like it's like guiding the two together, like bringing those two things together. So this is definitely on the right path, following your North Star. This is Spirit is guiding this in. Guiding you right to your wish. Why is there a subtle approach that's... The only thing I can get is the feeling, an idea of like discernment. Like sometimes when something really great happens, this feels like strategy. You don't necessarily tell everybody. You're like, there's just not a wary eye, but like a discerning eye with something. Could you speak on the circuit, please? I need to understand this one. It's like being smart about something. I need to come all the way on. Okay. Of course. It's like when you haven't done something for a long time. So the reason why I feel like the discernment, the whatever else it is, it's almost like sometimes when people come out of hermit mode and isolation, they can be very gung-ho. I get a very methodical, strategic, paced approach to something. And that could just be your energy because of what's been going on, because it's almost like a weary. That's why wary was coming out, like a wary eye, because I get it now. You're kind of wary coming out of this. Like it's okay. You're fine. You're safe. You're good. Like you may feel not so certain about something. It may be difficult to allow this help to come through. And I think that's what the news is. You're going to receive some news, beneficial, helpful news. And it's like you're a bit wary, engaging in this, going this direction. And they're like, just follow your intuition. It's okay. Pride, fear, things are going to come up, right? Because of the past, your level of distrust of going there and being that vulnerable again. Because we have the Four of Swords and the Hermit. A lot has been discerned. But I also feel like they're saying this is a pause on hermit mode. There's going to be a stark contrast. Knight of Swords, that shit, it's like it's about to end. You know, like the person who's coming out of the cave and they kind of make their way out because it's so bright external and they have to kind of like adjust. This is like an adjustment period for you. Something's about to happen, and it's okay if you take a sly or subtle approach. I think that the better terms are strategic, methodical, discerning. It's like a very discerning stepping out that's happening. And that's okay. That's okay. Because we have the Seven of Pentacles. Because things are going to start to come. Where you thought something wasn't happening, it will. Something's going to happen. Something's going to finally break ground. Something's going to finally come through. Seven of Pentacles is very much so a very beginning to me, right? Now, we do have the Knight of Cups. But I do get the energy of this coming out being more of like a Seven of Wands versus a Nine of Wands. Like Seven of Wands is having the discernment and the right level of protection and self-love, self-care that you're like, I will not let people cross this. I will not let people pull me out of this. And then, of course, as opposed to the level of defensiveness that you've had with the Nine of Wands. It's about opening up to this. Spirit's okay with the pace, right? And I think Knight of Cups might have something with the true love and fidelity piece as well. We're just in the energy of books right now. Mm-hmm. Wow. It's about letting somebody back in that inner circle. You know what I mean? It is letting somebody in beyond the arm's length. This can be love in a romantic sense, but even love, because when I was talking about, I was like, there's like this soul family, like somebody you pulled in as if they were family, even if they weren't blood. You know what I mean? This is the level of like sisterhood, brotherhood. Like this is just a soul connection with somebody. And I think that you have experienced heartache as a result of that before. Somebody that you were completely, authentically, truly, genuinely yourself with. And they turn that against you. And like you almost don't want to share that aspect with the world. And you may have not, because of something in regards to that level of rejection at that intimate level, prevented you from wanting to share that with others. Nobody gets access to this then. But that's only slowed you down in your expression of your purpose, of yourself. Like there's something about what you have to share with others when your light is at its fullest, but you have been hiding that bitch. You've been, this little light of mine, I'm gonna, like, there's this hiding of it. It's okay. It's okay if you come out of the cave just a little cautious about who, you know what I mean? Not wanting to really soul tribe. Can I trust you? Can I? Are you capable? You know what I mean? And it's okay to not be Knight of Wandsy with people and just like, oh, like, because you feel this level of connection that automatically they're healed enough to be able to be to have access to, you. And it's like, and not allowing whether your light shines or not to be contingent upon if people are able to receive you. So we have at the center of this little spread the Two of Pentacles. It is, see how cautious she is? She's walking, she's moving forward, right? It's almost like in this Two of Pentacles, I would say it's not a choice between two. It's one building on the other, one foot in front of the other. It's the next step on the path. And where she really has like both, it's a progression is what I want to say. And it's okay that you take your time with your progression in the coming out, in the opening to receive, in the no longer letting pride because of what has happened to stop you from receiving what Spirit has for you. And then over here we have the Lovers, which to me is all about, I'm hopping around, guys. It can be finding it is a soul connection. It is two people in alignment with one another. Their frequencies matching. They're in harmony with one another is what they said. And so it's like, is this absolutely, I'm not keeping love out of this as far as a romantic love, but I want to make sure that this, like they're definitely honing in on the love that you can share with the people that are closest with you, your community. But then we do have a King of Swords over here. Wanting to progress. King of Swords, Lovers, and then this Two of Pentacles where there's a progression, taking things a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further, right? And King of Swords can be an indication of somebody who is exceptional at communication, exceptional at like words, intellectualizing things, or their sign. Wanting to progress. This is where I feel like love is absolutely, like there's a level of, with this Empress, there's something about, I've gotten to this place because of the isolation and things that I went through. I rebuilt myself up. It reminds me of that gestation period during a pregnancy. It is getting the baby to a place where it is ready to come into this world, capable of dealing with all the elements that might come at it, like being in a healthy enough state to be able to merge into this, right? And offering a cup, offering love, joy, connection. Oh, I just threw stuff everywhere. And lo and behold, it's going to be more of what you want than you've ever realized. And you might just be scared. but that past rejection of soul family or somebody you felt was like supposed to, like you had a soul connection with, your tribe, like somebody that should have had your back, that really did a number. And something about these connections being like they are an expression that this is the help that you've been needing and wanting. I don't care if it's love. I don't care if it's just soul tribe. Somebody that's meant to cross your path. This is it is spirit showing up in human form. And I feel like someone who really loves you, and fidelity being like loyal, trustworthy, like lasting. Not somebody who is fair weathered and walks out because you show your true nature. Because they're either intimidated by it, or they can't understand it, or they're not ready to break out of some kind of whatever. This is just the allowance of that. And take a look with this Knight of Cups. I'm being brought to the one over here, the Tarot Sexual Magic. They're showing me the depiction of where the woman is in the waters, in the depths of it, and the Knight of Cups is coming to the edge, and he's going to have to get down off his horse and come and meet her there with her. That's what this feels like. Look at where he's at. He has ventured out into the waters. Not only is he full of emotion and connection, but he's willing to receive it, drink it in, soak it in, accept it. Okay, so the idea is to allow this, even if you feel like you need to be paced with it, and you're a bit wary and you have a discerning eye, and it's like, but this is the help and the support that you've been asking for. It is trustworthy. And when you reject it, you're only sabotaging yourself. They said, no, not yet. Okay. I was like, why isn't everything was quiet? Cards are all quiet. And I'm like, what did I miss? And I'm like, it has to be. I'm like, okay, news from afar. They want to touch on that. I was like, why? Are we done? We're not done. I could tell we weren't done. Oh, good. I'm glad it's spot on. 4-4. Let's see here. You will receive news from afar. Where do you want to go with this one, Spirit? Pursuit of your fullest expression does not have to be a battle. They bring me back to the song. Florence and the Machine, guys. Come on now. Florence and the Machine. Let me pull it back up. I need my golden crown of sorrow, my bloody sword to swing. My empty halls to echo with grand self-mythology, like the stories we tell ourselves. We tell ourselves it has to be that way. But if I didn't struggle to be this, like if it wasn't like the idea, notion that because you felt up to this point that it had to be hard, that it was a struggle, that it was difficult, that just means that's how it is, and it's not. So it almost becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy to get what you desire and want, and to really fully embrace who you are in life is always going to require a sacrifice, and is always going to require this heavy burden that you bear. And it's like self-mythology. You don't have to be the martyr in your own life. They bring me to this one. Your dazzling pain like diamond rings. It's but you need your rotten heart. Your dazzling pain like diamond rings. You need to go to war to find material to sing. Talking about herself in this. It's like, what is my story if it's not my struggle? You have desired to put that sword down. You have desired to receive. You have desired to be birthed into a new phase and state of life. You have desired the end to this isolation, the lack, the doing without. You have desired this at a deep level. You can feel it in your veins. But you hold dear the pain like it's some sparkly little thing. What is your story without? Think of like the you watch all these like old school. What am I talking like these the movies that like medieval time type of stuff, and it's like they go into the pub and everybody's got a war story. Even today, everybody like people are always showing their which by all means be very proud of what you have accomplished, and this is not saying not to, but like my dad was always the one, like they always had stories and they would share their scars, and like, even people who ain't been to war, they'd be all like, look what I got here when I did this, and it's like that's what it reminds me of. What are you? What is your story without you being able to tell people about your battle scars of life? If that's not the thing that you can attach your identity to, like, is it okay just to live authentically yourself and to get what you want and to put it out there and not be tied to the idea and notion and story that you must suffer for it, be persecuted for it? Because here's the thing. When that's no longer necessary for you, despite people who will do and project onto you, it suddenly doesn't matter because you don't need that to thrive, to feel. It doesn't have to be a part of your story. Not every connection has to be one that stabs you in the back. That's self-fulfilling prophecy. So what is this news? This news that you're going to receive from afar? What are they saying? What are they meaning? Okay. I forgot to tell you, this is the Night Sun Tarot, this one. I forgot to mention that. And then this is the Starman Tarot. Who am I without that suffering? Be sure you haven't over-identified with that. If you over-identify with the story, then that's what you're projecting in the future, hence why you don't come out of your cocoon. Okie dokie. So this news is a tower. Ten of Cups. This is you. Oh, man. Hold on just a second. Okay, so for somebody, it is absolutely love. Tower being something faded. It is like the tower that you had built was that story I just told you that you keep telling yourself, that you have to be the martyr in your own, that you like somehow being 100% authentically yourself is also an invitation to pain and rejection, and like that always has to be a part of your story. That you're just gonna have to, it's just not from like the golden crown of sorrow, like, you know, it's always gonna be a fight. It's always gonna be, because it's not. That's the tower that's coming down. This message, this communication, this expression that's about to come through to you will blow that shit out the fucking water. Because the next thing when I got excited was the Ten of Cups, which is the idea and notion of you being good all on your own and in your own energy and content. And to get to the Ten of Cups, it requires somebody to come in with another cup. You don't get you have to add a cup. So it's the idea of somebody coming in with a cup, an expression of love. Again, I have heavily felt soul family with this, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic sense. I do know for some of you, it isn't a romantic sense. And for some of you where it's romantic, that person is soul family. There is a soul connection there. Their offer, the bringing in of the cup, is what blows your old story away. It almost obliterates that Nine of Wands wall. It's an invitation to show up as you are and to be loved for exactly who you are. Appreciated and seen and supported. It's like the kind of support that's not contingent upon you remaining in some type of a box, always wearing a mask. But to just, like, when I saw this, I knew it, but the next card that came out is the King of Cups. I told you somebody's going to bring in a cup. Somebody's going to offer their cup. And it's in this offer, this expression, this communication, that this tower, this story, this self-fulfilling prophecy, this self-sabotage and pride comes crumbling the fuck down. So a new story can be built, a new belief, a new lens, a new projection into the future. Lovers. Emperor. And I love this one, the alien. I'm going to read it for you. They always tell me, you think I'd have the excerpt memorized. You'd think that I would. Alas, I do not. But it's like every time I read this excerpt, they always want me. There's one in there, and it's like it has everything to do with your authenticity and getting back to your natural self. But like they say it so well in there, and it's like I act surprised every single time. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, like it's the first time ever reading it, and I'm like, look, I know what's about to happen. And maybe that's why they intentionally make it so that I don't remember it, so that I have that same response every single time. Because I'm like, woo. All right, though. But you know what? I have allowed way too many things to be put into here. So you're going to have to give me a hot minute so I can find my book, okay? Okay. Did I put it? Yep. Hold on. I'll put it over here. Never mind. You're going to love this, guys. So the Lovers and the Emperor. Mind you, this motherfucker is, whoever this is, they are a king every time they show up. You've been an empress. You've been waiting for your equivalent. For the one that's in alignment with you. For the one that can hold space for you the way you hold space for other people. The way you hold other people up. Okay, hold on. Let me get the corner. Okay, we gotta get to the. Yeah. I know how to count. Leave me alone. The alien. He represents your own hidden or lost wonder and miraculous powers. The parts of you that have become alien to you. I'm going to cry. In the difficulties of life, the learning, the rules and consequences of family, school, work, and relationships, parts of ourselves must remain hidden, suppressed, denied. Parts of the whole remain hidden and unknown. The alien signals your urge for freedom. Naked, untainted, there are no masks, there is no great cover-up. He catalyzes self-discovery and ignites the drive to question, challenge, and dissolve the walls that box us in. There is a remembering. The semblance of something more astonishing, more beautiful, and utterly miraculous surfacing. The rekindling of dreams, new possibilities, new worlds. That's what this motherfucker is bringing in. He is giving you permission. Whoever this is, I don't, male, female, doesn't fucking matter. This person is coming in, giving you permission to let go and relinquish that old story and to just live and create a new one and live authentically as yourself, to remember who you are, because you slinked back. Or is it you slunk back? I don't know. I make up words here, okay? He lifts you way above what you thought was possible, way beyond what you thought was you, lifting you out of your personality and its defenses and placing you back into yourself, whole and complete. This is why I love reading. Like they wrote it just for, I'm going to cry. The alien who carries spectacular visions and wonders must always seek a way home to the stars, the light from afar, being in this world, but not of it, reminding you that you are always, no matter what, on a journey back home to the light. Full circle moment to the light. This person is going to bring you back home. You know, sometimes we say someone feels like home because they give us permission to come back home within ourselves. They allow us and create space and hold space for us to return to who we authentically are. And when you get back to that, it's like, oh, I remember this. It feels like home because it is. They allow you to return home within yourself. I mean, this is a good read. Shit. Fire saving matches. Okay, I feel like now we get to pull this one. Oof. When I say about cried when I was reading that, I love this excerpt. Guys, if you love decks that just speak to you in all kinds of wild ways, and when people put a spin on something so that you understand it in a different capacity and it lands differently with you, Starman Tarot, okay? Because I get so much from the pictures, and then the way that they describe it, it's like, oh, it almost like the same card, the Fool, the whatever. It's like, but a different, so it lights other aspects of me up. And I'm like, oh, it hits differently. So, okay, so let's see here. Oh, I am so sorry. Thank you. Sunset Kiss. Yeah, there we go. I butchered names. Oh, okay. I see that. I was like, oh, where's Latasha at? I'm old. Okay. And my eyesight is going. I've just realized recently that when text moves, my eyes can no longer focus. And I'm like, oh no. I'm gonna have to go get them checked. Like I used to be able to follow text and now it just looks blurry. I'm like, uh-oh. That's what happens when you turn 43, guys. Okay. Just saying. This is happening for me right now. It's too soon to call it, but after yesterday, ooh, LP, I want to know more. Okay, anyways. So, yeah, the Lovers. Oh my gosh, and the Emperor. This Emperor is bringing this in, and it just allows you to be you and return home in your own skin and to let go of that story that somehow this has to be hard. That there will always be a price to pay for being you. And the thing is, when someone allows you to return home and sees you authentically as yourself, when the noise happens further out, it's as if it's background noise and you don't give a shit. Oh, yeah, they did say. I was about to stop, and they're like, nope, you got. I'm like, okay. And I don't know. It's funny. I want to say I did do a reading a couple months ago called King or I Am King, and it was based on this exact story or this exact song. And somebody may want to go check it out. I cannot even remember the fuck it was about. So, but it might be related because the fact that they brought this song back up as a spearhead for whatever this reading is, it's like, and just to remind you all, I do personal readings. You have to book on my website. There's been a weirdness about it. I set it up differently so that payment doesn't necessarily have to happen through the website, and like I could filter better because when I had it set up that way, I couldn't filter who I was reading for because I've noticed sometimes there's just some people I'm like, you're not ready for a reading. People need to be open and ready to hear a message from spirit, and some people are still too codependent and want to control the message that comes through. And when you're not ready to receive, it's this whole like it's this, while they're not being this way to me on purpose, but it's like battling it. No. I'm asking you about this. I'm like, I just answered that, and you're not willing to hear the answer. And so like I wanted to switch things up because not everybody is. And I am not here to take money from people who just want to hear, like they I know exactly what I want to hear, and that's what they expect. And they don't like it when they don't hear it. Like that you're not ready. Okay. And if you're grappling for a response, like for some validation from spirit that bad, that's when we become codependent on spirit. So I'm trying to come up with another way to still offer them, but to be more discerning before I do it. Because people would pay and then I'm like, oh shit. You know what I mean? And when I refund people, I get out of the money. Like I lose money on it. And so I was like, I need to filter these better. And then send an invoice. But people are like confused a little bit on my website because you push the book now, and it's so that you can send me an email. It directly, how like sometimes if you hit something like contact us and it pulls up your email and it already has my email address in it and the subject line, and you just got to put the body of the text in there. Well, for some people, if you don't have email set up on your phone or anything else like that, because a lot of people do it from their phone, like for me, it'll like, because I have like every email you could think already set up on my phone. It's like, do you want to send it from Yahoo, Outlook, da 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 da? And other people who don't have something set up like that on their phones, it just closes it back out because it's like, oh, you don't have any way to send this. Like, you have to have an existing email account and stuff like that. So it poses problems sometimes, and so I got to find out another way to do it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But if you run into that problem, that's why. I did think about just putting my email address on there, but I thought, good Lord, the spam I would get. But I don't know. Let me put this back because I feel like I was talking. That doesn't feel ready. Close that conversation out and get back to this. They wanted me to pull this. Came out again. Oh my God. So this is the one I was like, no, I don't think I'm ready. I put it back. Came out again. Now, male or female, not necessarily going to matter. Although I do feel somebody that would identify as a woman in this read. I do, with this card at least. But think of it this way. These are the two aspects that come together like magnets, the polar opposites that attract. It is the polarity that creates the unity, right? So the masculine and the feminine. So someone in this situation would be more in their feminine regards to, hence like the King of Swords versus the Empress or the Emperor. It's the two of the whole that get attracted together, okay? Think of it that way. Although if they bring up gender to me, it's usually to help someone determine that it is for them. I know it sounds really weird because you would think, oh, it really doesn't matter to spirit. It's just a way for someone to understand it's for them. Because sometimes I can feel, I'm like, oh, somebody has the JJ. Somebody has, like, I mean, I don't care what you want to call it, how you want to look at it, but somebody's got this or somebody's got that. You know what I mean? Like, they want to make somehow, but the specification of that lets somebody know, yes, it is for you. It's not frequent, but it does happen. And so the fact that it's like, I feel the word woman with this, somebody needed to hear that for whatever reason. Never to be misconstrued. Remember, when I read for multiple people, I've got to make sure everybody is on board. And so if something's not for you, it's okay to let it go. Look at this. Woo! That motherfucker he's thinking thoughts, obsessive, constantly thinking, preoccupying their minds. And look at who he is. Look. Same motherfucker. Look at who he is thinking about. Look at okay. So that's why, because there is a feminine where there's a masculine whose thoughts are actually very much so preoccupied with you. Somebody isn't sure how to, okay, so with the child card, could you have children? Absolutely. That's not what I'm feeling off of this card. I'm feeling like the newness of it. Like, when something is so new, you're not really certain about you don't know what you don't know, right? That's what I want to say. And so walking into this, it feels a little bit like all the concerns that could come up when something new starts, right? And sometimes prior to starting, like when something is initiated, you're like, and you're thinking and contemplating it, it's natural to think of all the concerns that would surround this new beginning, right? That's our ego trying to protect us. But I think the concerns are also about acknowledging it, bringing attention to it. Acknowledging it would be the message, the communication, putting words to it, highlighting it. That's what the high honor is. It is elevating something to recognition, acknowledgement of something. And it's almost as if a masculine is afraid to acknowledge this to some feminine because of how new something is, because they aren't really sure, they're concerned about the newness of this. Do I want to bring attention to this, or do I want to elevate this? It gives me the idea of like getting more serious or taking this further, getting closer. You know what I mean? Like this is also someone seeing the worth in somebody. This is also like elevation of status, like taking it to the next level. Thank you. Why was that so hard? I was like, there's a word for it. There's a word for it somewhere out there. And you're like, what if this is just, oh, there's that rejection. What if this is just another, because in this card, it's a distraction. And then somebody pickpockets the time. But to me, when they pickpocket the watch, the pocket watch, it's like stealing time. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is this just going to be another time wasted? I don't want anybody to steal my joy, my time. Like there's something about that seems very precious. I don't want to waste my time. Okay. This kind of goes hand in hand, right? Because it's like I don't want my time wasted, but the message of concern is also about, like it's just going to end up being that I find out this isn't good, this isn't real, or that somehow this person doesn't actually like me. Like the idea of expressing this, wherever this communication or expression would come from, they may hesitate. They may have a lot they think about, a lot they want to say, but they don't. They're concerned because it's like, should I feel like this? This is new. This isn't something well established. It's not well established. It's not been in existence for a long period of time. This could even be something where there isn't something that's established, and it's like, gosh, should I really go there and bring this to light and try to go somewhere to elevate this further? Because even with a person who just likes you and has a crush on you or admires you, it's taking it to the next step if they actually communicate that to you. Right? And so it's like the thief card is also like the thief of joy. Because what if the response isn't great? What if it's not well received? What if, because the message of concern is like hearing something you don't like, or it could be delayed. So this person can be so concerned with this that they too are, it's almost like this has been in delay because of that. Where's the house card? Okay. Well, there's something here, and I'm trying to get it, and I'm like, I hate when I'm like lost for. I'm like, what is the? I feel it, and sometimes interpreting the energy of what I feel with the human words just doesn't go very easy. Okay, I don't like words. Words get on my nerves. I liked it when we used to communicate in energy, like spirit does. What is the gift? So something about house, home. Remember we were talking about you coming home to yourself in this message. Because right next to it is the gift card. And I just feel like when I have something like this, it's like they're offering something up. There's stability in the house card. There's a connection in this house card. But I feel like home. Like because I want to do the cheesy, like their heart is your home kind of thing. And it's like, it's more than that. There's more than that to this. Please explain. Okay, I'm going to go over here because I can't help. Somebody has a well-established somebody's doing decent for themselves. Wealthy man feels more like just the level of success that somebody has or their position. And maybe there's something about their work that gives them, like they're in a place of stability in their life, right? And they want to, oh, okay, thank you. They want to offer you, thank you for doing that. They want to offer you stability. Whoever this is in a good place. That's, of course, they're the emperor. Whoever this is in a very good place. Because we have like we have the tree. And it's like, starting something with someone who is so well grounded and rooted within themselves, like someone showing up secure in their power, not easily uprooted or moved, can bend and flow with things. Like there's just something very solid about this new beginning. Okay, give me a little more on this whole fear of, like this message of concern. And the thief card. What it like, because I can't fathom. It feels more like they're concerned with how you'll receive this, like their expression. Yeah. They just don't know. What the burden with the clouded. It's like maybe they're not even they're like a little apprehensive about initiating this. But they are thinking heavy about it. They like when they meet you, if you haven't met already, you're on their mind. For some of you, this is going to be, it is so funny. Remember, like, why I felt like they're getting into wanting to remind people, because there's definitely a situation where somebody is a feminine. There's also a situation like a woman. That's why, but there's also a situation here where like, so this is definitely for more than one person, because this doesn't feel like an option. Like you get a choice between two men. No, this feels like two by society standards, by what society would deem biologically male. So this is the fact that I even mentioned liability in the beginning of this reading. It's just that one may be in a more feminine energy and one in a more masculine energy, probably because one is going to be on the receiving end of this versus, and the one being the one extending this. Because this is just, okay. Spirit really wants everybody to know who, like, yes, this is for you. Just know with this message comes the ending of this. The slide, so like the overly cautious nature of things. The story that you tell yourself that it's always going to be a struggle, it's always going to be difficult, it's always going to be. I think they want to end on this. There's something about this message coming through that hinges on the destruction of an old perception, an old story that you tell yourself, that you project, that holds you bound and limited. This message is your tower moment. And it's going to redefine what tower moments can look in your life, because sometimes we always just think of exceptionally difficult turmoil situations. And something can be the destruction of something and be beautiful at the exact same time. So, and there's something here about, I don't know, somebody is in a very stable, secure place in their life, ready. Like this person just feels like their area of like finances are well for this person, but I feel like this person is, I've already managed this in my life. It is no longer my focus. I've accomplished this. This is a person ready for something different. Alrighty. And also, this could mean that whatever this person offers, if we go back to also this being like a soul family connection, even though they definitely wanted to make sure, like this could also be the type of soul family connection that leads to prosperity in your life. That type of support. Alrighty. Magical. That was a really great. I love it when they do. They still will allow me to throw in some specifics. But yeah, I think that we hit on everything that we need to. It's a really great read. Hope it finds who it is meant for. Making sure I put everything back right where it belongs. I use several decks. Yeah. And just remember my web, I'll figure it out, but you do have to have like some type of email set up in order to do that. I'll find another way. But in the meantime, I am glad. That is my entire intent and purpose in the readings. So thank you very much, Sunkiss. Hey, Manishka, how are you? All right. Oh, and to end it, we have 6-6 at the top. 6-6. The numbers of love. Yay. All right. Hope everybody has a fantastic and wonderful rest of your day. It's Saturday, so enjoy it. It's the weekend. Do what you can to enjoy things. And all right. Yay. I will see you again soon.